Hello everybody, my name is Bryce Machine Bates from Team Evil Geniuses. This is going to be a replay review brought to you by evilgeniuses.net. This replay is going to be a Zerg vs. Terran vs. Dignitas Select on Sanshorn Mists. So let's go ahead and jump into the game. Alright, let's get this started here. Basically, Sanshorn Mists is a good map for the matchup. A lot of Terran players would, or a lot of people would say that it's actually a Terran favored map because these islands are unblocked, allowing a Terran to just produce a command center, float it over there, and turn it into a planetary fortress, and they basically get a free base that's very easy to defend because you don't have to worry about ground. You don't only have to worry about like a meatless attack or something or like a massive drop. You'd basically be forcing the Zerg to commit a lot of resources to killing it off. But very decent map nonetheless. There's very sort of wide open area in the center, which definitely favors Zerg, particularly the Ultraless tech, because you can just get those very nice surrounds on the bio, force a lot of fungals, and then also there's just so many different little attack points on the map that Zergs can counter very easily on this map. And so it's kind of odd that I picked this map against him because it doesn't really favor my style, but overall it's just a very large map, and I was more or less afraid of trying to defend early bunker rushes or basically all-ins, and so this is a good map for defending that, which is exactly what we see here. Even though I'm doing a very good job of scouting around 4 proxy racks with this drone at all different locations, he was able to let one slip by here, and so I'm actually up against a 2 racks. 2 racks on this map can be difficult to hold off, especially if they're allowed to get the 3 bunker wall off or whatever at the natural, because then you just really can't defend it very efficiently. You almost have to just sacrifice your natural and go from there. But because I just scouted the 1 racks, I expected to see a 1 racks expand, which is what I saw in the previous game from him. So I don't really know this is coming at all. And if you look at my production tab, I'm only making 2 Zerglings, which is not good, particularly against this all-in. So as we see here, he started a bunker on the low ground out of vision so that he can just start pushing up my ramp into my natural. Meanwhile, I'm getting my 2 queens. I'm starting to finally use these 2 Zerglings to scout out, and now I know exactly what's going on. My initial reaction is to put down a spine crawler. He's rallying more and more SCVs here. 3 of those, he's committing a decent amount of resources to this engagement. Lucky for me, he started so late that the creep spread actually blocked his bunker placement. So now he's only allowed creep spread here. Now I want to try to use these queens to pick off these SCVs, draw the marine fire back with these Zerglings and retreat. I pulled the queen out of my main as well. And this entire time I'm buying myself some time to get my spine crawler up. And I need to pull back with the Zerglings here. Still just producing Zerglings, 2 more queens. And now I want to just try to get this spine crawler in range of that bunker. And then go ahead, engage with my queens, try to pick off the marines first because they're not being defended, just reducing his total DPS. And then kill off the bunker. And once this bunker is off, then he loses his high ground advantage. He can't see up, and I can start targeting down the bunker or marines with my queens that are both pretty low on HP. He's rallying more and more SCVs here, trying to sort of turn this into an all-in. But the SCVs don't really help him as much here because he's lost this high ground bunker. So it's not looking too good for him now. Able to pick off that other marine, put down a second spine crawler once I saw the SCVs because I realized, yeah, he's definitely dedicated with his attack. He's probably expanding beyond it, but it's a lot of resources to invest this early into this kind of a all-in situation. So I placed my spine crawler not quite so it could hit this bunker, but so it could just defend my ramp. I know that he wants to push up into my natural. So I just kind of want to try to prevent him from doing so, and if he does, he's going to commit. He needs to walk around the spine crawler, allowing me to kill off all of his marines, and he won't really be allowed to let any survive. He obviously doesn't really like the position he's in. He feels that he's produced so many Marines, he has to try to do some sort of damage with it. And if you look at the unit count here, it's 52 supplied to 35. Harvester count 38 for me, 22 for him. So he pushes up here, engage with all my queens, all my zerglings. I'm able to pick off a decent amount of Marines there. But need to hit that transfuse. There we go. And as I said, he walks around the Marines behind my middle line, and he is forced to lose every single Marine he has. Killed off a couple drones there, but not nearly. It doesn't really pay for the resources he engaged with. So my standard response from here looks like I put down a macro hatch in my main, Roach Warren so I could defend the early third, and then I'll probably, be grabbing a third right now. He's forced to retreat back to his natural. He's got an orbital command in his natural. He's producing out of 4 racks here once this one lands. And that's going to allow him for some Marine timings, but he's definitely behind. He's got his 2 refineries, starting his upgrades, combat shield and stim. And I'm basically, because I was able to fend this attack off and I have this good group of Zerglings here, I am allowed just map control. I can start producing as many drones as I want. I can start my tech, my upgrades freely, and I don't really have to fear any sort of timings at this point. So that's exactly what I do. Start my lair, got my upgrades going here. Notice I'm at 50 harvesters to his 31. I should actually be droning even more for this third right now. And then I'm just scouting the map with my slow lings, looking for hidden thirds, and then spreading my creep simultaneously with this single queen, just towards my third, out into the center of the map. I basically just want the entire map to be covered in creep if I could possibly choose to. So as my layer completes here, I have a baneling nest. I should be starting an infestor mound. I'm not really seeing that. And then producing more and more drones for this third. Should be taking the Vespian geysers at it. And the one thing I'm worried about at this point in the game would definitely be drop. Now, because his 2 racks failed, his drop is still not, or dropships still aren't complete at 11 minutes. He's just now starting his upgrades, so he's definitely behind as far as tech. But if you look, he's caught up in harvesters, he's caught up in units. It's just going to take him a while to move around the map. So I take the Vespian geysers at my third. Should be producing more and more drones here. And slowly am. Baneling speed, which is very good against Marine Marauder composition. 1-1's about to complete, and there's the infestation pit. That's going to allow me to not only produce infestors into my composition, which are needed against biocentric sort of compositions, but it's going to allow me to start my hive simultaneously. So right as the infestation pit complete, I start my hive, I throw down my spire. They have almost the exact same build time, so that once this hive completes, so will my spire, and I'll be able to produce a greater spire. So now I'm just concentrating on Overlord speed, Zerglings, scout on all the different pathways around the map. And so now I finally know he's moving out. If we look at my drone count, 68, 69, something like that. And a decent amount of Zergling Baneling. But now that I've scouted him moving out, I can be on pure Ling and Infestor production. So as you see here, I'm producing 12 Lings, 8 Banelings, and I'm forcing him to waste scans all the way out in the center of the map, trying to clear this creep spread. And once he moves in here, I recognize that on creep, he has no advantages. I can actually just move in, try to target the Banelings on the center of mass as far as his bio, and I'm able to make a pretty strong army look pretty simple, actually. I was able to deal with that very efficiently. Meanwhile, because of these Zerglings' position, I still notice he doesn't have a third. I'm able to burrow a Zergling at his third. Once again, it's just to force him to waste another scan. I have stacked defense at my third, stacked defense in my main, just to fend off all these drops, and now my hive completes, my spire completes, and I start my greater spire immediately. Should be starting adrenal glands, And now from here, he's just now getting his third command center up at 14 minutes in the game. That's exactly when I'm starting my greater spire, so I'm in a pretty decent situation here. If you look at the units, I just have 2 infestors, it looks like. Lots of Lingbane, and then those early roaches that were just to defend any sort of all-ins from him, any like follow-up all-ins with mass bio. Playing my queen out here again to start some creep spread. And I've scattered both these islands, making sure he's not trying to hide a base here to pull himself back into the game. Meanwhile, he's got a drop coming up here at the top left, but because I have creep spread, I have overlord speed, or overlord over here, and a zergling, I see it coming in plenty of time, able to react to it. And from this point, basically, once I realize my greater spire is about to complete, I need to focus more heavier on, obviously, like infestor and then corruptor broodlord composition. I shouldn't be building any more zerglings just because they're not really necessary at this point. And then I also need to secure a 4th at this time. Looks like he dropped my main, but I was able to deal with it pretty easily. So I should be thinking 4th, and I'm not really sure why I'm not right now, but that's definitely a mistake. As we see here, my second armor completed, second melee is about halfway done. And now, as this greater spire completes, I have 3 corruptors on the way. I should have 5. There we go. There's my 4th. I'm going to take the opposite 4th at the same time because every Terran tries to hit this timing where they're going to delay this 4th. So it's to be expected, and there's definitely a possibility of losing it. So even if I lose this one, he can't attack this one simultaneously. So one of these bases should get up. So I scout him moving out again. Once again, choose to morph some banelings. My corruptors are complete. He's going to push up on the top of this ramp. I'm forced to cancel that. He's going to hit 2 spines here, get a good fungal and some banelings off. Then once I realize his tanks are pretty close behind, I just opt to fall back. Morphing my first few broodlords here. And broodlords are sort of just the game-winning unit for Zerg. They're like Zerg's siege tank. They hit from so far away. It's very difficult for Terran to deal with. They have to actually engage you, whereas every other composition or every other time in the game, Zerg's forced to engage a siege Terran. So I'm able to clean up these marauders very efficiently with a few fungals, some banelings, some zerglings, and now I have my broodlords in here to rally in. Once he recognizes that, he unsieges immediately and he's forced to retreat. But now his siege tanks aren't sieged, I can just engage, and I don't really have to worry about all the extra splash from the siege tanks. So I clean up the bio quite easily, clean up his siege tanks. Now I'm in a great position. So I should be starting an air armor upgrade. You always go armor, ZvT rather, or anytime you have broodlords. And now that I have this 4th up, I think I'll have the Vespene gas to do so. Looks like he's going to send a drop over here to try to pick it off. But luckily for me, I recognize that I need to dedicate most of my resources to defending this base right now. And because it's in a closer proximity to his 3rd, I can actually use this like as a base point to engage from. Meanwhile, he's pushing out and trying to hit a counter on the left side of the map. He drops right here. I'm able to pick that up pretty easily. Started my air armor. Should be starting 5-3. But now that I actually have Vespene gas to do so, I should. So I have most of my broodlord army over here. But right now, I recognize that he's actually pushing on creep to go kill my natural 3rd. So I make a quick decision to pull just my Lingbane back, leave my broodlords sieging the space. They're never going to get back in time to defend it anyway. And then leave my infestors with them to defend against Vikings or Marines or anything like that. So because they travel so quickly on creep, especially even across the map, I'm able to actually clean up his attack. Maybe not the most efficiently possible, but either way, I clean it up, and then I actually am able to secure this and hold this 3rd still, which was my main focus, while still sieging this 3rd of his. And so he's forced to actually use all of his SCVs to repair, or he's going to lose it. So he's losing a lot of mining time, and I have most of my rally over here just trying to kill this off, morphing more broodlords right next to it, and then starting to mix in corruptors. If you look at the supply, I'm 172 to 107. And now I'm just rallying Lingbane to it. I recognize he has to put all of his focus here if he wants to try to defend it. He loads up his dropships, trying to pick off my infestors and my broodlords. but I'm able to hit my fungals, and he's just lost a lot of resources just with that early sort of trying to drop by. I actually lose a few infestors there. It's a bit sloppy. Alright, so he's dropping mules here. And I just now put drones back at my third. I probably should transfer more. Yeah, I do. And now he's just obviously rallying over Vikings, but I'm rallying Corruptors, anticipating the Vikings. And anytime he moves in with his bio here, I want to try to move in with my Lingbane, try to hit good fungals, and fall back. Now I actually have a base point to morph broodlords from, and once these other 4 broodlords get up, there's no way he can actually hold this. So, you know, because this is so taxing on all of his actions, he's not able to, you know, hit these drops at my third, drops in my main. So he has to focus all of his time, dedicate all of his time here, just trying to defend this base. Because if this base falls, it's GG. So, still rallying more and more units, doing a good job here. And finally, I choose to commit, clean up all the bio, clean up his Vikings. And yeah, he's forced to GG. Once he recognizes the base is going to fall. Alright guys, once again my name is Bryce Machine Bates from Team Evil Geniuses, and this has been a replay review brought to you by evilgeniuses.net. If you guys like this, you can check out this and more at evilgeniuses.net. Take care.